Alright, there we go. Video number 4. Tearing it down. Once I get started on this stuff, and I never do the before video, you saw it in previous videos, but that whole pile of, if it's real marble, I just destroyed some expensive stuff, but it's grandma looking to me. It's not what I want in here. I'm going to destroy this subfloor now. Definitely turned off the gas for safety, but I'll tell you what, those pieces are freaking heavy. If you're ever doing this one and you got a piece above, take the top one first. Ask me how I know that question. That thing fell on me and it did not feel good. But yeah, all that's coming on. Looks like there's just a little bit of mastic or thin set that was popping those pieces on. That door over there was only held on a little bit. But yeah, next take down this tiny little mantle. And begin with framing in that floor. Looks like there's some framing I'll have to remove from underneath. So here's where I'm at. I've had to reframe all of this. Had to drop all their framing out. Had to cut all the way out to here, and I realized that's 26 inches out. Those pieces of plywood are 24 inches by 48 inches. But I couldn't do anything about that. There's a triple joist pack right here, so I had to get into at least one of them for my cut. And you can see I've done that and then a little bit more, but yeah. I figured out some of this flooring stuff too. Is I was thinking, you know, 3/4 inch and 3/4 inch. No, it's 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch for the plywood and the underlayment. Inch total for thickness, but yeah, I need to go get some joist hangers so I can put those back in. So I dropped everything level. I'll be able to put in 3/4 inch plywood and 1/4 inch of hardy backer, and that'll bring it up to floor level. And that's basically the extent of how far I'm going with the tile. But yeah, I got a lot more framing to do in there. I'm probably going to run a length of 2x4s in between all here, just as bracing to keep them from canting. You know, I get to going and I forget to tape what I'm doing. But yeah, all the framing's in. Got the first board down. I'm out of glue. I need to go get more glue before I can glue this portion down. So I'll do that tomorrow. And tomorrow I'll start actually framing the rest of the fireplace that goes up. But yeah, I spent today doing 2 loads to the dump, and had the flooring guy come in and give me an estimate, or take measurements so he can prepare an estimate. Alright, here we go. We got all the plywood down, filled in that gap, leaves me 1/4 inch to bring up the floor, which I'm doing with hardy backer. And when I do it, I do the plywood and then I put down some construction adhesive, drop the hardy backer on, and then secure it with the hardy backer screws. But yeah, there's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. There's one little detail I love these hardy backer screws come with, is a full-size driver tip. I can't stand those little magnetic tiny ones. I never use them. But yeah, you take these screws, and it's pretty simple. You're just looking each one of these divots. You're putting them in. And since I'm going into 3/4 inch plywood, I only got the 1.25 inch screws, and that'll hold it down just fine. Between the adhesive and the screws, this is going to be a nice solid base for my tile. But yeah, hardy backer screws is what I prefer for floors, even over Durarock. In fact, I never really use Durarock at all. It might be a little lighter, a little easier to cut and all, but you get a all carbide tip blade on your saw and it goes through this stuff like butter, so it's no big deal. Try scoring it by hand and you're going to hate life. I've done that before. Then I learned all carbide tips on a saw will cut through it. Makes a lot of dust, so you better have your windows open. But here we go. I'm going to get this screwed down. Alright, and you end up with something like that. That's kind of the finished result of prep work for doing a tile floor at the hearth. That'll be at floor level. But yeah, I'll go into more detail when I do the tiling on what I do next after this, because there's a lot more preparatory work before I actually just slap down tile on this. Now, I'm going to get to the framing, which is something I've been wanting to do for 2 days now, but having to clean up this mess of how they framed the house and get it all done, yeah. You can see with the way they built this thing, they didn't expect much weight to be on this mantle. Maybe some picture frames, commemorative Elvis plates, whatever. But yeah, just a 2x4 lagged into what I'm guessing will end up being the studs. I'm just going to make my life a little bit more difficult to pull it out. I gotta go find my sockets. And just pull that out. And then I'll be ready to start framing what I want over here. But yeah, just a simple 2x4 that's somewhat flexible. I'll do better than that. Here we go. All right, before I really get going, a couple pointers. I went through and at several heights, marked where the studs are at. I also pulled a line down the windows because that's what I'm trying to match. Use my builder's level so I get somewhere decently straight. And then for my bottom plate that I'm about to secure down, account for a 1/2 inch of drywall, so it's got to come in. So you got to come in about 1/2 inch there for that drywall, so that's about where the framing is going to be. And so that'll go right there. Slam that in there, nice and tight. And just because those gaps and stuff, I am going to do a double bottom plate there. And this bottom plate here, I'm going to sink in with some 3.5 or 4 inch screws to get it into the structure. So all of this is tied in nice and tight. I don't ever have any of this coming back off. But yeah, you can see it slips a little bit shy of there. A little bit shy of there, so I should have about 1/2 inch on each side for drywall to slip past. Alright, fairly standard framing. Lay it all out here on the floor and stand it up. And there it is. Now I'm going to do all the infills, square it up, because it needs to push that way a little. You see a little bit too much light there, you can tell, yeah, it's a little bit bowed, but hey, it's 2x3s. Those things are not well known for being square. But yeah, you can see I've started to build out. So let's go for the next stuff. But yeah, you just do that basic frame, stand it up. I'll be securing to the wall in a minute with other stuff. But yeah, I'll show you that as we go. Alright, here's where I'm at. You see those 2x3s that turn sideways? Those line up with studs. And those are going to be what anchors this to the wall. However, I'm out of 3.5 inch screws, which is what I would like to anchor to the wall with, going through drywall and getting a good bite into the studs. I'm kind of tired. It's been a long week getting all this stuff done, so this may all wait until Monday. A little bit more done this morning. Starting to set my mantle and its 2 support legs down the side. Got them cut to the length I want. Now I'm going to put these 2 2x6s together, glue and screw. And those will be the support legs that run up and down there. You'll see that in just a second. But yeah, just 2 of those. I picked up trim with it. I'm going to use stock stuff out of Home Depot. And so 2 of these together give me exactly what I want. You'll see that as I go. But for joining these 2 together, I'm definitely glue and screw them. Keep them nice and tight and together. And that way they don't ever come apart or ever have problems. But yeah, that's kind of this Monday morning where I'm at. A little bit more framing in. 2 light fixtures located. So here it is all framed out. Fireplace, you basically have the structure of the mantle. 2x4 and a 2x10 give me 12 inches of depth there, which will fit DVD players and everything else. Some other things you might pay attention to. Might help you, maybe, maybe not. You notice I've shimmed it up. Moved it on that side already, but I left it here so you can see that I'm leaving some space there so I can slip all the tile and everything under it. And then the trim work will actually be able to close the gap. As you figure another, and I looked at this, I bought more hardy board. I'm going to need to drop more hardy board down on here because the wood flooring is going to bring up a 1/2 inch off of this, so that needs to come up. Again, another 1/4 inch plus 1/4 inch of tile, and that meets it just fine. But I also made sure I have plenty of corner blocking for all the drywall sheets that'll go in. That thing's about as solid as can be. But yeah, lots of trim work after the drywall and tile. So there's a whole bunch more to come for this. Figure I'm going to need power there. I'm going to have an electrician come and do everything, but they'll be needing to have power there for the TV and everything else. That'll be hidden. Have the TV mounted on this wall. So I haven't decided whether or not I want to cut into the drywall there and actually put 2x6s by, which is not a problem because this is not the insulated wall. You can't see in there, just a nice black hole. There's the flue, but beyond that black hole is the actual exterior insulated wall. So this is a whole bump out of wasted space. But in on that, I should have explored that before. I'd have dropped this in a lot deeper. Could have dropped it in a good 2x6 width. Framed up some more, but that's a lot more work. This is fine for where I'm at. Yeah, every corner's got blocking and backing. I'm going to leave plenty of gap in between the actual door in there when I get the drywall and tile on. But yeah, so that's where I'm at right now.